I need to finish the Reignited because I've only finished the original for Spyro.
You have 1 week, so...
Yeah, I have 1 week to get as far as I can, and I was going to try to 100% it, but I do not think that's going to happen.
Have you not started it? Christian! This is your game! We've delayed it like a month!
Yeah, and I finally finished the original.
That's okay. Austin's only finished like 70% of the games we've played. You skipped... Hang on, let's count. You skipped Yellow. You skipped Spyro 2. Maybe that's actually only it, but still.
That's it.
Okay!
It's like, quit slandering me.
2 out of 9... How many games have we beaten?
70%
we've been
of
well
the games.
over 9.
Slander. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gameboys podcast. My name is Austin, and I am joined by my lovely co-host, Dallin Mulman.
Hello!
And Christian.
Hello.
Hello there. So today, we are going to be talking about one of my personal favorite games of all time, my number 2 favorite game of all time that we have finished now, Halo 3.
Which you guys should know by now, because
the end of the trilogy.
You've definitely... The Christmas episode is definitely out by now, and you've listened to it.
We just haven't told you which Christmas episode it is
no!
yet.
Is it next year? Oh, man. Alright, yeah.
Anyway, to kick things off, I have 2 questions. I have one first for my co-host here. I want to know, and this is kind of taken away from a little bit of the early on, but it's the best I got. What cinematic moment, and this could be like cutscene or even some gameplay thing, was your absolute favorite during the run of Halo 3? I'll start with you, Christian.
You should save it for the end. No, I know what you're going to say. This should be an end question.
Well, I have to ask you guys a question, because the question I have for other people, you guys can't answer.
Okay, ask the audience, and then can we answer ours later? Because I know what mine is, but I don't want to spoil it.
Fine. Alright. You just can delete this.
Alright, so ask the audience.
Yeah. And to get things going, I have one question I want to ask the audience, because my poor co-host probably can't answer this one. I would like to know, for all those who played Halo 3 back in the day, what was your favorite custom game map or game?
No, I can answer this. I played it back in the day.
Okay, well, let's hear what yours is.
I don't think Christian can, but I do. Okay, I know there are more interesting ones, but it's really hard to beat, like, a good zombies map. Specifically, the mode, and not that original, but was like, okay, I'm sorry, I don't know all the names. What's the big desert that's just huge?
I know exactly what custom game you're going to. I'm spacing the name of
it's
that.
just,
map.
and
So
I have...
You're thinking about the game mode Halo.
And I'm vividly remembering in Halo 3 that big sand map, and the zombie mode, you get hit, and you get given like a sword, I think usually. Sometimes I've seen some modes with gravity hammer, it's always melee, but you get to move it like 300 times speed or something like that. It's insane. And so I have vivid memories of being like on a warthog with one other human survivor as like 4 arbiter zombies are running after us, keeping up with like, not the warthog, the mongooses, and we're shooting at them and they're just trying to sword us. So yeah, that was probably mine, yeah.
Gotcha. Mine is on the same map, assuming we're thinking of the same one. But it's just called, funny enough, Halo. And this has one zombie that's on this elevated small platform in the sky, and surrounding him is kind of like a mini obstacle ring racetrack. And all the players start with like either a mongoose or a warthog, and they have to drive around the entire ring while the zombie's shooting with a sniper rifle and a rocket launcher. And if they make it to the end, they can pick up a power-up and kill the zombie and win the game.
Nice.
That was my absolute favorite custom game.
That's a good time. We did not partake of custom games in our run-through this time.
Sadly, no.
Unfortunately not. They were the best times. So yeah, audience, drop in the comments what your favorite custom game was, because I'm desperate to hear.
You missed the good old days.
All right. Oh, let's not go there. We can talk about it all day. We have a podcast to do.
That's true.
All right, so to kick off our discussion of Halo 3, let's just dabble a little bit into the marketing campaign that they had, because I felt like the difference between the advertising from Halo 2 to Halo 3 was an incredible leap up. I shared the majority of the big campaigns with you guys as we were getting started. Was there any particular advertising campaign, like cinematic or anything, that stuck out to you, Christian, of the bunch?
Let me think. Of all the campaigns that you shared with us?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what the name of the one that I'm thinking of is. Like, I can picture the scenes in
Describe it, and he can tell you, I promise you.
There were a lot of explosions.
Okay, I lied!
Was it the one where they were fighting like the brutes and the Marines primarily fighting,
Yes.
or was it like the stop motion one?
No, it wasn't stop motion. It was them fighting the brutes and the Marines. But I
Yeah,
don't
when they were
remember what the
trying
name
to
of it
scan
was.
Master Chief as he was falling down.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I know it's like a 2-half trailer. I know the first half of it is called Arms Race, but I'm spacing the name of the second half of it.
It's on screen right now, so...
Okay.
It is probably my personal favorite as well, just because it's the most lengthy one that they have. But I think like the biggest hype one for me was probably the Starry Night Super Bowl commercial. It still baffles me to hear like a video game got a Super Bowl ad. It was legendary quality. What are your thoughts on some of the advertising? Dom?
Oh man, okay, so spacing a name as well. That first one where he throws down that bubble shield, which may have just been like the initial E3 release, I don't remember. But like...
The bubble shield's the Super Bowl.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So of course, that's the most iconic one. I may be mixing up my ones. Where... Was it Reach? What's the one where they show... It's live action, and they have like the ODST troopers? Like in a funeral.
That's ODST.
Okay.
Advertising.
I'm mixing them up together.
We
Okay.
haven't gotten there
Okay.
yet.
But I will say this. This is just worth noting. Like Halo 3 through Reach was just some of the best advertising for games I've ever seen. It was consistent.
It gets so good.
So, I'm mixing some of them up, but yeah, like that Super Bowl commercial is pretty great. I like the E3 reveal trailer, which is a little bit tamer, but it's got the Cortana kind of appearing ghostly in front of you and like enticing you towards what's going on. I love the shot of all the human and Covenant-looking alien ships going in towards the portal to the, I guess I forget what it is, but the Ark. I guess we didn't know at that time, but you see like all the different things just like, okay, we're converging on this one point. It's such a great visual. The trailers for this game are masterclass, man.
So good. I every year I make a habit to watch all of the promotional advertisements, even the Believe campaign, which was, they had the whole memorial of one of the fights where Master Chief was there, and then he had all the their historical people who were there recapping the events, and I found that campaign to be pretty fun and definitely different than any other like video game has tried to advertise themselves at the time. It's truly like its own whole
Halo
world.
3 was an event. Like, even I remember that, and I don't think I owned a 360 at the time. But I remember there were like signs on all the stores, there were commercials, the merch was everywhere. I think it was one of the biggest selling games. I think I read somewhere like Halo 3 releasing like nearly doubled for a little bit Microsoft's stock or something like that. Like, it had an insane effect on, like, it was huge. It was an event. It was a cultural touchstone.
Yeah, it
Oh yeah.
Sorry, not trying to interrupt.
No, you go.
Just talking about it being an event and like breaking records with sales. I actually made a note of this because I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah.
It broke the all-time sales record for visual media in general. Over $170 million in the first day.
And that's movies, and that shows visual media. Holy
all
heck.
visual media.
Dude, yeah.
Deserving of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No.
I still have a great fond memory of going to Walmart with my dad when I was younger to pick up our copy of Halo 3 so we can play it. Still a great time. Love that
Fun
game.
fact, my first pictures on my Facebook profile are, you could like do the camera mode or whatever, and it was literally like when you do a replay of a level or something, and we'd pause, try and find cinematic angles, and I took a flip phone and took pictures of that, and so it's like a screen, it's not even a screen grab, of like a CRT, and then from a flip phone, and that's like some of my profile pictures or whatever from like 2008 or 9, like on Facebook. Yeah, no, that's real.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like two ghosts would like crash into each other and explode, and like the people would be staying, and we'd take a picture, like flip, click, and that was, yeah, so yeah.
Just a side tangent on the Halo 3, since this isn't technically part of the script. The on the social aspect of things, them having like a theater mode, and people just staging or just taking pictures of random events, and then it pretty much had its own almost built-in social media photo center where people just like upload their little photos to the thing, and you can just look at all everybody's uploaded photos. And some of the most iconic, even meme formats of this day, come from just random people's theater screenshots, and I adore that fact. It's so good.
Yeah. No, it was great, dude.
Before we get stuck on the nostalgia track, let's segue over to game development. I'm sure there's probably been some interesting details about how this game came to be. Isn't that right?
Yeah,
guys?
I love this. So Bungie's one of those companies that, at least back in the day, and this used to be more common in general. Like, I don't know why we don't do this anymore, but like, I guess companies are scared of it. But they like literally would make documentaries about like, here's what's going on, and it is so well documented. There's some great resources that I got to watch, some videos made by them. One of the most fascinating things was, we mentioned last time that the development of Halo 2 was very fraught with a lot of trouble, and it was kind of being held together with duct tape and screws, like up until the last moment. They're like, this game isn't running. Like every time they're going to show it off, it's like, it's literally not running, and they get it running like a week before it's ready to go, or something like that. So for Halo 3, they were like, we're not doing that again. They had a year of pre-production, which was not known. That was not how they did things. But before they even started like building the game, they're like, let's get the script, let's get the ideas. They knew they were jumping new hardware, and they're like, we don't want to go in half-cocked on this. This is a beloved franchise. We owe it to the fans to finish this off, and frankly, our guys are getting burned out on this anyway. So they really took the time to like try and set themselves up right this time in comparison to the earlier games. I think it paid off. There was a lot less cut content because they were not none, and I'm sure we'll get into that. But there was like Halo 2 is like half cut content, almost literally. The second half of the game got cut off, and that's why they changed it to Halo 3. But it's just fascinating. I think it really pays off in a way that like I think there's so many little details. All like the Forge mode was revolutionary, like you said. The social aspect, they hit the ground running with that online gameplay. We didn't go into it, but there's really interesting lore at this point. They're starting to care about the lore of their series. They cared before, but like somewhere between 1 and 2 didn't have a ton of books, to my understanding. By the time around 3, when 3's getting released, they're full on in like the books giving backstory and lore and extra stuff, and they really cared about this, and they had different marketing campaigns and ARGs. There was like literally an ARG like leading up to the release of the game that was like background lore about the Didact and like crazy stuff like that we didn't even get into. So, to make a very long story a little bit shorter, they really had a lot of time on the front end. It was a very tough challenge, but I really think that because of the care they put in, they made their magnum opus, so it really paid off.
Yeah, it sounds like it. You can really see the effort and time they truly put into this one. Yeah. It's even just from a graphical standpoint, looking from like the original 2 to how 3 looks, because I remember, if anybody remembers, I mentioned that they tried wanted to do a new shading method in Halo 2, and then had to backtrack on it, and everything just looked so flat and weird. They looked like they actually had the time to settle like on an actual art style and build everything around it. and it looks so good, even to this day.
Okay, sorry, one other interesting fact that you said reminded me. Like, they literally showed an example of like how the teams are working together. So they had like a level design team and they have like a physics team, and those aren't exactly the same team. The physics team was like, all right, we're gonna make this water, and they were like, oh, the water looks ugly, and they're like, fine then. So they made this like gorgeous water system that was like breakthrough technology of the time. And then when the level design saw it, they said, we are putting water in every single level because this is so gorgeous. And they're like, it felt like it was worth it finally, because like it was gonna be for one river in like a level. They're like, no, water is everywhere now because of this. So that was kind of the you know, the way they went about making things. Yeah, it definitely had more detail work and it paid off.
Oh yeah,
It's awesome.
do you have any interesting facts for us, Christian?
I do. Yes. So to start off, because we're talking about just the amount of work that went into this game, let's talk about the music of this game for a second. I thought this was just awesome that they did this. So the composer, Martin O'Donnell, I think I'm saying that right. For the score, he used a 60-piece orchestra. He used a full orchestra and a 24-piece choir for the score of this game. So, like, that's a lot to go into a video game, you know?
Oh. Do you know what else he did? Sorry. He got advanced look at the script because he was making the music even before the gameplay was there to try and go along with the scenes and things like that. And they went, it's missing something. And at the risk of some story spoilers, we'll get the specifics. He goes, yeah, it's got no punch. People need to die. Like, every few levels, someone needs to die. And they went, and then they wrote that into the script and they went, damn it, he's right. And so if you can be happy that the story has more dramatic weight or mad that he killed off your favorite characters, but that was Marty O'Donnell. They showed it to him, and the music guy. So he didn't just make all the music; he also like had input on the story. Actually,
That's awesome.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I did not see that in my research,
Yeah.
so I'm glad that you chimed in there. Another fun fact that I have, kind of having to do with the release of it. So Halo 3 had 3 versions that you could purchase it in, from what I saw. There was the standard 1-disc edition. There was a 2-disc limited special edition that came in like a metallic tin case. And then there was legendary 3-disc edition that came with a Spartan helmet.
I really wish I had that edition.
What was on the
honest.
extra
I would have
discs?
had that right behind me.
I was about to ask what version you got, Austin.
When I wasn't able to buy my own copy.
Yeah.
It was my dad who purchased. We got the 1-disc.
Oh, okay.
What was on the other discs?
I don't know what was on the other discs.
It's
Some
a
kind
mystery.
of additional.
Maybe that's the interview I saw. That was like the making of documentary.
Oh, I bet they would. That sounds like something that they would put on like an additional special.
Editor Dolan, do some digging. Tell us what's on the
Yeah.
discs.
Both of the special
Poor future
edition
Dolan.
discs sold out almost immediately, even though they were a significantly higher price than just the standard 1-disc version. Further contributing to that $170 million sales in the first day. But also something that I thought was kind of funny with the second edition, the 2-disc edition in the metal tin, the tin or the case was very poorly designed.
No.
Which resulted in about half of the time the discs were damaged when you opened the case.
No!
But Microsoft made an announcement and they promised to provide free disc replacement to all users with damaged discs as long as the request was submitted before December 31st of 2007.
Dang.
So as long as they submitted the request, my guess is through the website, before that time, they would provide you a free replacement disc, no charge at all. which I thought was really great of them to be able to be willing to do that.
It's a long series of Microsoft making terrible equipment and then paying for it anyway with the red ring and all that.
Yeah.
You think they've learned to just make it good on the front end eventually?
Well,
oh, those are fun facts, man.
My third... Wait, we're doing fun facts at the end, too. So I'm going to save...
if you want to save someone, that's fine.
Save a few.
I'll save a few.
It makes it easier to short them into different sections also.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll save them then.
Alrighty, so the next thing I want to go over is our experience playing through Halo 3 together. So for a little bit of context for people, this was the first Halo game that all three of us could actually play the exact same campaign together.
Oh,
we didn't have to split up because with Halo 3 online, we finally can go up to 4-player co-op. Some fun, I'm going to toss in a little mini fun fact here about that. The co-op is situated to where player 1 gets to be Master Chief, player 2 gets to be the Arbiter, and I can't remember the names of the poor 2 other elites, but there are 2 Spec Op elites that are players 3 and 4.
Their names are Blue and Yellow Toad.
Blue and Yellow Toad, yes. How could I ever forget that?
I don't know if anyone else gets that reference, but... Nope, just me. Okay, sorry, real quick. In Mario games, forever, they'd have Mario, Luigi, and then a blue toad and a yellow toad, and their names were Blue and Yellow Toad, and so I was just... Sorry, never mind. Bad joke, that's it.
I thought it was
a good joke. And with our experience, I am going to complain and rant about Master Chief Collection being a crappy port. This is nothing to do with Halo 3. Halo 3 on the actual 360 did not have this problem. But when it comes to the Master Chief Collection, trying to play this game together initially was miserable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Darwin?
I don't know it's bonkers. So, like, part of it is, I don't know why, but I often have weird internet issues, and it's not... Like, my internet's fine, my wife being able to play is fine, like, the tests come back fine, but we often play games, my connection's weird. For some reason, though, when we played this game and anyone other than me was player 1, it was, like, frigging a PowerPoint presentation for me. I don't mean a little laggy, because I've played this before, and it was a little laggy. You and I played, like, a year or 2 ago, and it was the same experience you did, where it was like, oh, there's a bit of input delay. And it's not great, but it's very playable. But like I was like, like at that pace. And so Austin, who's like reasonably wants to be Master Chief, we finally had to be like, sorry, I have to be player 1. We did that, and it mostly fixed the issues. Like there's a spike here or there, like a little bit of delay for y'all, but yeah. Ow.
Yeah, MCC is cursed. However, the only person that wasn't cursed, it seemed like, was Christian, because he seemed to be doing fine no matter who was hosting.
Which is funny, because he has the worst internet.
Chilling. I still think it has something to do with whatever servers you and I were trying to connect to, and they just don't like to
We
talk to
are
each other
a time zone
know.
away, that is true.
But,
plus, with the way
yeah,
I
so
play, all I do is just throw explosive things, so it really doesn't matter if I'm lagging or not, because I'm just causing explosions.
Someone's blowing up.
Yeah, exactly. It's either you, or it's me, or it's a brute.
It does not matter the FPS, my gameplay, the same.
Yeah, so with that all in mind, as much as I would have liked to play on Legendary, with some of the latency and also it being Christian's first time playing the game, we did play on Heroic, which is still a fun way to experience the game.
Yeah.
It's not too terribly easy. Stuff can still get you, but it's also not like the really true fun experience that Halo 3 can probably offer you. So as it being your first time, Christian, how was it playing through Halo 3, like control-wise, mechanic-wise, and just the general experience?
In terms of like controls and the mechanics, I didn't encounter any issues. I did play it on mouse and keyboard, but
me too.
And as you've told me that it's just so much better when you play
Heretic.
Yeah, exactly. I've looking as I was looking at fun facts and stuff. It seems like the community online all agrees that it is significantly better gameplay if you play with an Xbox controller. That being said, I did play with keyboard or mouse, but I didn't encounter any issues. So like mechanics wise, gameplay controls wise, I felt like it was very smooth. I didn't, at least from memory, I don't remember having any kind of issues except for maybe forgetting which button throws the grenade. But
your favorite button?
I know. What's up with that? But it was a really, really solid game, and I really enjoyed playing it.
Yeah, how did you think about it in terms of like difficulty wise for you with how we had things set up?
I think if I had done heroic mode by myself, I feel like I would have had a much, much harder time. I still think I would have completed the game. Like I'm not thinking like I would have submitted an incomplete on this podcast, but I playing it with somebody that is, for lack of a better word, Halo veteran as yourself. I felt like it was substantially easier as opposed to if I had tried to do it alone. Because also there was never confusion of like, well, what do I need to do now? Where do I need to go? You were there to help me along the way. I definitely think sorry, go ahead.
No, you finish. I have a question.
I was just gonna say, I definitely think if like I turned around, even having just played it, I was like, I'm gonna try Legendary by myself, I would submit an incomplete, because I did still struggle on Heroic, but I think playing it with buddies is much better than playing it alone. If you haven't played it before and don't know what you're doing.
So I have a question though, because you went through Halo 1 and Halo 2 with Austin. And then 3, I got to join in. Was 3 more or less difficult? And do you think having an extra player affected that? Or like, yeah, it was harder, but having an extra player made that easier. It was easier, but it would have been harder if we hadn't had a third. Or Dolan made everything more difficult. I'm curious how that change affected your experience.
I definitely would not say that having a third player made it more difficult. I think it contributed. It contributed more to my enjoyment. One, that we were all able to play because we're all buddies. Yeah. But I think in terms of like the difficulty of the game, it was definitely easier to have a third person. At least in my opinion, because then we were able to, and we did this a couple times, have one person driving, one person on the turret, and then a second person driving another vehicle. And that really contributed to a lot more of my boom booms, which, how can I complain about that? So I would say if you've never played Halo 3 and you're wanting to play it, you'll probably have a much better, more enjoyable time if you play it with friends. Okay. That's my 2 cents.
I can toss in real quick that going from playing with my imaginary friend for 2 games, I had a real friend for a little bit during one of the games, but it was mostly me and my imaginary friend, and then getting 2 extra real people helping, because I was like breezing through this game. I was like, I'm in Happy Town now. I was like in Nom, and then like I came back, and it's like, it's a parade.
You no longer were dragged down by Dust and Echoes.
Oh, yeah. Did we ever explain Dust and Echoes? Oh, no, you need to explain Dust and Echoes.
I'll let you have fun with that one. You love that.
That was from the first game, right? Yeah. Yes. I do not remember the context well, which is why I think you should have explained it. But basically, early on, there's no one here, nothing but dust and echoes, and then like as soon as the game starts and you have a second player, like the second player like spawns in like right after that, so the community would like, player is Master Chief and his buddy Dust and Echoes. Sometimes spelled Dustin Echoes, like as a so canonically this
incredible.
Yeah, this anytime you see a second Master Chief, it's actually Dustin Echoes. So yeah. But that was in Halo 1, but yeah. We should have mentioned that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. I love that so much.
It's very funny.
So, what about your experiences through Halo 3, Dolan, now that you, again, had friends to play with?
So much fun.
But just overall.
Okay, so I love this game. I played 1 first, then I think I actually played 3 before 2. I think I at least finished 3 before 2. It was just because I never owned any of them but 1. So I just had what my friends had, and 3 was the new hotness, by the time I was able to play these. I've played them all. I'm a little bit mixed on exactly when, but I don't think I ever beat 2 till after beat 3. But 3 is phenomenal. It is a classic game for me. It is so good. Everything was as good as I remembered it. And even more fun, because I had never played it with 3 people before. I had only ever done 2. I didn't even know it could support 3 and 4 players. So that was extra chaos and extra fun. It's no secret that I had some misalignments with Halo 2, I guess we should say. Didn't quite click for me in the same way. I am happy to report that is not the case with Halo 3. It is at least as good as I remember it, and I may even like it even more now, if possible. Yeah, are you looking for anything specific here, or just overall impressions?
For just to start the overall impressions, but we'll go ahead and segue that to fine-tune your statements to specifically talking about the gameplay mechanics. So with Halo 3, we kept a fair bit of the stuff that was introduced in Halo 2, so we still have dual wielding is still present, hijacking is still present. But then they added basically like armor abilities that you can pick up, or just equipment. I think it's mainly just labeled as equipment.
Yes, it becomes armor abilities.
So like you can pick up, reach, So you can get like a portable grav lift to deploy, a portable shield. You can have a flare, an energy drain, which is basically just a giant EMP ball, invisibility, invulnerability. So, and those are like held by different kind of enemies, or you can pick them up on the ground, and you can kind of just on the fly do like a fancy strategy, which I find very entertaining and fun. What are your thoughts on those like new additions, Stalin?
Yeah, I think I mentioned this in the Christmas episode, but this is a new episode and we're actually talking about the game, so I don't want to ignore it. I think what's fascinating about this is there was kind of a transition point in 2, but looking at 1 and 3 specifically, because they're such a clear cut. 1 is still holding on to those almost Wolfenstein and Doom-esque kind of sensibilities with, like, there is overshield, but there's also health, and there are power-ups you can find in the map, and by the time you get to 3, we are fully kind of into, even though I know this is in the COD game, and it's before kind of Modern Warfare did that, we're into that kind of COD Call of Duty sensibility rather than Wolfenstein, where it's like very much, no, you've got just shields, very much encouraging running, quick hide, then back into the battle. Your power-ups are like very you hold on to them for a little bit, and you do find specific times to use them, but like they're very disposable. It's not like I'm gonna grab it in the map and then you're like, okay, I'm in jam, throw down the shield, grab another one. You get to pick when it gets used, and you're supposed to use them frequently. They're kind of part of your kit in rotation. So I really think that's good. I am blanking on exactly how much this is true, but I feel like there's more fun to be had with vehicles in this one than 2. I'm trying to think about why I think that. I felt like in 2 there were many more vehicle set pieces where it's like, this is the time you use the tank. We are giving you the tank, you will use the tank. Now you have a Warthog, this is the Warthog section. I felt like 3 had a lot more sandbox options where you'd start a mission, they're like, alright, there's a tank, a mongoose, a Warthog, and you can grab a chopper 5 feet in. Grab any one of those that suits your fancy. All of those are valid. It was much less of a like, here's the tool, now use the tool. And much more of a, here's a sandbox, we figured out the sandbox, Godspeed, find your way through. And I think both have their place, but I really like what Halo 3 does, especially with the 3 of us playing, so we didn't just pick one. You'd be like, I'm going for the Ghost, I'm going for the Banshee, I got the tank, and like, exactly.
Oh yeah, the vehicles, just kind of appending onto that, the vehicles were very good, and we had a lot of new introduced vehicles that were really fun. We had the, I think it's the Prowler, which is the kind of like the brute version of the Warthog, where it has the turret and then people can run inside. It's actually a 4-seater as opposed to the humans only can seat 3, so we're just inferior to them.
Well,
and then we had our first human aircraft to pilot, the Hornet,
yeah,
which was really fun.
Yeah.
Those do get a little set piece. You pretty much only use them in the place where they go, this is the Hornet section.
Yeah.
It is fun. The brutes have you said the Prowler, and then there's the Chopper or something like that. Whatever, it's
The Chopper.
yeah. They both have the sensibilities. I was talking about them, how they tried to make sure that like every faction has like commonalities, and not just in looks but in like mechanics. And they're like, the brutes are like the type of things that would be like, we only charge forward, and so there's like big spikes. They're much easier to ram people with, and their ramming does much more damage, but there's like no cover in the back, so if you've rammed through and you haven't killed your enemy, you're vulnerable, was like the thought process behind their vehicles, which I found really interesting.
Yeah, it's very, even like their just standard weapons, like the Spiker, just 2 giant blades. You have the Brute Shot, 1 giant blade. I mean, they were all just very, very aggressive. Which, I mean, like their play style of how the Brutes play compared to Halo 2 is a little bit different. Like it felt like, and I still love Halo 3, but I felt like the Brutes emphasized their more brutal nature in 2, because they had the thing where like you kill their partner and they just go full berserk mode. They kind of go berserk in 3, but not to the same like insane extent of Halo
They're
2.
more
But
elite
I still find that
replacements.
fascinating about them. Yeah, they did kind of become more of an elite replacement. They kind of have like the little shield thing, or their armor kind of became their shield. Once you pop their helmet off, it's just a one-shot headshot.
Yeah.
At that point, but yeah, Christian, what did you think about the new mechanics?
So since we're still kind of talking about the vehicles, I really enjoyed all of the vehicle options that we had. I think, just thinking from memory, I think I hopped in a Chopper most often. I really enjoyed that.
She's there. She's there.
Oh. I was so lost. I just so for those of you who can't see, I just saw you pointing, and I was like, he is either trying, he either sees something behind his computer that he wants us to acknowledge, or I didn't even think to look behind myself. I was thinking, does he want me to do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression and say, get to the chopper? Like, I didn't know where you were going. But turns out my cat was behind me, and I didn't know.
This is cat little ghost eyes looking at you. Sorry. It's cute. Alright, I'm sorry. Please continue about the brute vehicles. I feel bad
No,
now.
you're good.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. And I felt myself getting like excited whenever there was like a spare chopper, because I just felt like that. I felt like that was just a really fun vehicle. And you know, when I can't boom boom, I enjoy running people over in vehicles. So the chopper was kind of a great option for me. But I got boom boomed a lot in it, but that's okay. But
I gotta, okay, editing Dolan, you gotta put in the picture that Austin just said. That's
yes, that is 100% me.
Oh man. Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. You just
in
had that
terms
on
of, like-
hand.
Yeah, that's perfect. In terms of like the in-combat abilities, I personally don't feel like I utilized them properly. I felt like a lot of the times, at least for me, this is probably part of because like using a keyboard wasn't always remembering what button did what. My most distinct memory of utilizing those like in combat options was I had a Gravilift, that I didn't know I had, and I threw it down, and I thought I was throwing a grenade, so I threw it down, and then I was like, okay, and now I'm gonna run that way, and long story short, I ran through the gravel lift, and then I fell off the edge and died. And I didn't acknowledge it when it happened, and I don't think either of you saw it, because I was just like, I died, and I just remember Austin going, "What happened?" And I just go, "I died." That's all you need to know.
Was that during the Brute? Was that near the Brute 1-on-1?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was one of our NPCs, but I did see an elite just like fly off the edge, and I went like, I thought you had hit someone with a gravity hammer and then gotten exploded or something, but that's okay. Mystery solved.
No. No, that was poor. That was user error on my part.
Oh, that's great.
That's the best kind.
But at least I love the idea of the in-game kind of options or upgrades that you can pick up. I really like the idea of them. I just don't feel like I utilized them properly per that example. So
it's really funny, dude.
Yeah. I made a mental note. I was like, I'm gonna save this and mention it during the podcast.
Great. Oh my word.
Tangent on those abilities, they were included in the campaign, and you're able to kind of do some funny things with them in the campaign, some items more than others. Where I felt like they shined the most was in the multiplayer sandbox, as things you can pick. Like the ways, I always, when I think about like how the equipment amplified the experience of Halo 3, I always go back to one of my favorite little meme videos where these people are just having like this little sniper battle, and one guy's like, "Oh, I'm in danger." He deploys his bubble shield. He's like, "Aha, you can't get me. I'm in the bubble shield." And the guy throws his grav lift in there, and it raises the bubble shield in the air, and he's like, "Huh," and then he shoots him in the head and moves on. That is my absolute favorite use of that equipment. You can just do some silly things. You can take out people's vehicles with the EMP thing and then hijack them. They added a lot of fun chaos to the multiplayer formula.
That's awesome.
But let's go ahead and talk about like the missions themselves.
Oh,
excuse me. The missions. Shorter campaign compared to some of the other ones, but there's not a single bad mission. I'm just gonna go ahead and rant first. Every single mission is absolutely a cinematic masterpiece. The cutscenes associated with them are the best, some of the best cutscenes I've ever seen in gaming, period, in my opinion. I keep saying, like, every time something happens, I think, oh, it's just gonna keep ramping up, and like it just gets crazy from here on, but really that's just every single part of the game. It's just, I feel like even though it's shorter, that the pacing that it has for it is incredible.
Okay.
Go
Sorry. Yeah. This is because I didn't want to just like regurgitate the entire thing back that I watched, but this was also in the documentary I watched, where they said one of the big things they wanted to do is like make sure no one will ever skip a cutscene. And so they did a couple things with that, where they're like, we're keeping them snappy, we're keeping them directly engaged in what's going on. And another thing that they really wanted to do was they said, like, every cutscene starts with the last action you did in the game is the first action Chief is doing in that cutscene. So if you go press a button on a thing, the first shot of that is Chief pressing that button. And the last action Chief does is the first action you'll do in gameplay. Like, he'll turn and face a hallway, you are on that same hallway. They wanted it to feel as seamless as possible, as engaging as possible, and like paced as well as possible, so that even on replays, like, you weren't just going mash, mash, mash. You were like, nope, I gotta watch this. It's too good. And for one think they succeeded.
Oh, so good. It just it reminds me when during the Halo 2 development that their idea for the cutscenes was they wanted it to be like a movie, and I feel like Halo 3 is finally when they got to have that dream come true, because man, was that a good movie.
It's excellent.
Going through all those cutscenes. I want to start with Christian first. I want to hear what everybody's favorite mission was.
It's the same one, isn't it?
It might be, but I'm curious to see if Christian. I know probably for you and me it is, but Christian, do you have a favorite level?
Well, now I'm curious what y'all are gonna say. I think thinking back through just like the levels that we went through, the first one that came to mind of like that was like the one that stands out in my mind when I think about this game is Cortana. I don't know if that's y'all's favorite too.
I love it, but that's not my favorite. The Flood mission, which is actually regarded as the weakest, even though everyone likes all of them still. The Flood mission's your favorite?
So looking back at what I've said for each game, my favorite level is always the one that has the Flood in it. That's just my theme.
Was it the library in the first one?
Yeah.
You're insane!
Oh my gosh!
That's what you guys said.
It's a crazy flood-centric level.
I don't,
man.
I don't
Okay, but
know
the Flood are in
why
like
I love
every
those
level,
levels. Yeah, but that's the one that just stands out to me.
Fair enough.
It's the pure Flood
Yeah,
level.
it's the pure Flood. You're not. The water's not muddy. It's all Flood all the time. Those missions, they just. I don't know if they just stand out to me because it's all Flood and it's all chaotic, but I love the Flood levels.
I mean, cinematically, that's my favorite level in the story because you're finally saving Cortana.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you that. But gameplay-wise, it is. I think it's good, and I think it's the best Flood level. But it is baffling that the pure Flood level is because there's no vehicle combat, there's no Covenant combat. It's just you versus endless zombies.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. Huh.
It's a valid choice. Go on, finish.
Just that is my theme apparently with Halo. So I'm curious to see as we play the other ones if.
Well,
sorry to burst your bubble, but hope you enjoyed the Flood.
Is this the end of the
you
Flood?
killed them all. You killed them all.
They don't come back.
They don't? Really?
Well, okay.
No.
Asterisk.
Asterisk. They don't come back in campaign.
Well.
There's a funny, goofy multiplayer gimmick in Halo 4 where the infection mode is technically you're actually flooded spawns, but it's nothing to
and
do
then lore-wise,
with,
the progenitors to the Flood sort of show up at some point. There's some pretty dumb lore.
Count.
The thing that eventually became the Flood, I think, become bad guys in a future game, but like the actual zombie Gravemind Flood things, like don't show up.
Okay.
We defeated them,
and then
as far as we know.
Well, I guess it's all downhill from there.
Well,
Apparently.
That's the general
yes,
consensus.
it is because Halo 3 is the best. However, there are two still really, really good games. There are a couple other mountain peaks on this mountain range that is Halo. Before we get to the flatlands.
Okay. We'll see what I think and if I even have a favorite level then.
Oh, you will.
Okay.
Okay, Dolan, I know what you're going to say, but what is your favorite level?
Okay, I'm not sure what I'm going to say because I had realized looking at these that I've combined two levels in my head into a single level.
Tell me both of them.
So the Storm is the one that immediately came to mind first, which is that's like the first. How do I put it this way? This is going to sound worse. It's the first one that feels like I'm playing Halo again, but that's not quite right. Like, I'm playing Halo before, but, like, Sierra 117 is very much, like, the intro. It's good. I'm not knocking it, but, like, it's very cinematic. It's great. But it is very, like, okay, you're getting to grips with the controls. Crow's Nest is very tight quarters, which is a nice change of pace, and I like it, and harkens back to some of that stuff that was in a lot of Halo 2. And I kind of think it's like the Halo 2 levels, but better. Sorry. It's very good, though. And then Savarro Highway is fun. That's like, okay, this is the vehicle. I kind of feel like it's like controls, corridors, vehicles. Storm feels like the first pure sandbox to me, where it's like, okay, you know the toys. Play with the toys now. And something about that just, like, makes my heart happy. Where's the one? Is it the Covenant where 2 frigging scarabs show up? Is that Covenant?
Yup.
So I'm torn between Covenant or the Storm. I think it's gotta be Covenant, just because there's more going on. It's like 3 levels in one also, so that's cheating. But if I'm not gonna pick the obvious one, the Storm is like a very close second for me. But I'll let you rant about that level, the Covenant, because there's a reason it is, it is what it is.
So, we gotta go back a trip down memory lane to the good old Halo 1. Do you remember the assault on the control room mission, Christian, where you do the beach landing with the Pelican and then you have to go find the control room?
That's like right before the library, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a couple missions before that, because even before that, you have to do the introduction to the Flood. But anyway, so you do that whole beach landing. That's like everybody's favorite level in Halo 1, except for Christian, because he's insane. Landing on the beach, having this giant fight around this big sandbox island, and Halo 3's like, let's do that again. It's like, but instead we're gonna have the elites helping us too, and have this 3-pronged attack to bring down this giant shield to take down the big enemy of the Covenant that we're after. You do like this crash landing on the beach. You have pelicans flying out of the sky. It actually introduced, and this is the weapon that
I gave to Christian. Yeah.
The one time that this weapon shows up, the Spartan laser. First, before I go rant on this mission, Christian, what did you think of that Spartan laser? Because that's like the only time it shows up in like this series period.
It was fantastic.
It's so
good.
Because
I had to play Halo 1. I had to play Player 1, so I had Master Chief, and I was like, "Where's Christian?" Because you start out under attack like immediately in that. Basically, it was like, "Where's Christian? I gotta give this to him before I die," because I know I wanted him to experience it.
I'm so glad you did, man. Thank you.
I can't believe I throw you a rocket cannon, and you're like, "That's not the best level, though."
We got the Spartan laser, we take down the anti-air wraith, we get Warthog, we drive up to a tower, we kick a bunch of butt, go up an elevator, beat up a boss, have cool cutscenes, and then we hear Johnson's in trouble, he's having a hard time at the tower, we have to go outside and go help, and then we get to get the Hornets, and we do this giant air battle section.
It's like 3 levels. Like, I know it's 1.
Oh yeah,
but it's
so good. We land, we go with the elites this time to go storm the tower. We get up to the top, we finish Johnson's job, and then who shows up? The Flood, because what else chaos do we need to this giant final push? Flood intervene. So then we have to go back, fight the Flood, try to get to the control room since we took down the shield, and then 2 scarabs fall from the sky, and we have to fight them with aircraft and ground vehicles.
And the backdrop to all of this is that, like, the prophets are about to get to the Ark and, like, launch everything. They know where the controls are.
This all happens on the Ark. Yeah. They're in the control room of the Ark.
Yeah, so, like, there's a big ticking time bomb, too. It's not like, oh, we gotta beat the bad guys. It's like, if we do not get there in time, they're gonna nuke the universe.
Yeah. And I like my favorite cinematic, and I know, like, I think Don, your favorite cinematic is saving Cortana.
Yes.
My favorite cinematic cutscene moment is right when you reach the control room, and that entire sequence. Like, first you get in there, and they're just saying, like, Chief, how close are you? It's just not close enough. It's like you're just behind that clock as Johnson's kidnapped.
I think this one has... This is largely down to pacing, because if you put it on paper, it's probably not that much more interesting than the others, because it's effectively, hey, they found out where all the Halo relays are, where they're going to nuke everything. Stop them? And there's a little bit of a twist and turn, where it's like they get to the control room, the bad guys, the Covenant, the Prophets, and they're like, oh, we can't launch it. And then they're like, oh, dope, humans can launch it. Luckily, we've got these 2 handy-dandy human hostages, which are Johnson and Miranda Keyes, who are friends from before. And
mainly just Johnson as a hostage. Keyes crashes in
shows
a rescue
up,
attempt.
and then you're like trying to stop them, and there's a little bit of a back and forth with the Flood, where the Flood's like, hey, we will help you so that the universe doesn't get nuked because we're that's our food. So they help out a little bit, but then like anytime it looks like the universe isn't gonna get nuked, they're immediately like, okay, kill you, and they're like, wait, the universe is gonna get nuked. Time out. Try that again. Okay, we stopped the universe from getting nuked. You're back on the menu. And then yeah, I'd actually like to hear. I mean, Austin, I want you to tell us about the end. But before we get to the end, this is your show. But I want to hear, since this is favorite level, Christian's impression of like, we stopped the universe from getting nuked, and we realized like the only way we can really stop the Flood is to find Cortana, who's been missing since game 2. Do you mind telling us like what's been going on with Cortana in the background, like what the mission to go save her looks like a little bit?
So, the mission to go save her is when you're going to save Cortana.
Wow, I did not know that.
So there you go.
But like, you don't want to talk about the glitches and stuff?
So like, throughout the whole game, up into the end of this level, when you actually, spoiler alert, at the end of the Cortana level, you save Cortana. So spoilers, but all the way up to that point in the game, you're getting these like glitchy cutscenes of like Cortana will appear for like half a second and like say
some cryptic bull crap.
Yeah, she'll just say like things that, at least from my perspective, like what you don't know what she's saying, or like why she's saying what she's saying.
I'm just a shadow of my mother. That's one that I remember.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just a shadow of my mother.
Yeah.
And you're just like, if you're me, you're just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. So I'm just gonna keep fighting the Flood. But all throughout the first, up until that point, you're getting these glitches of like her appearing, and like everything goes into like slow-mo, and she's saying whatever, and then she'll like glitch away, and then she'll glitch back.
She saves your life in one cutscene. Do you remember that? You're lost and you're in enemy territory, and then Chief like looks over to the side, and there's like a glitchy Cortana like walking down a hallway.
Oh, that's
and Arbiter's
right.
like, "What do you see?" And like, she guides you.
Well, that wasn't her saving him. That was just walking down the one hallway that he had to walk down.
She saves you. She's leading. The implication is she's guiding you out still, even though she's been held hostage. She's psychically linking to try and still watch over you.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
that was
I think
good.
That's a great moment. But yeah, then we gotta like go to the Gravemind and like get her back, right?
Yeah, we gotta go get her, save her, put her back in your helmet, and then fly away. Which, yeah, it's
that moment.
Sorry,
no,
go
that
ahead.
moment, because you remember we made sure you get it. You find her little like sanctuary, like I say sanctuary, but like the little force field she's made to try and keep from getting infected by the Flood, and you gotta like crack it open. We made sure we're like, let Christian be the one who does it.
Yeah, you crack it open, and then she's like, "Thanks for saving me."
No, she's.
And then
you found me.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then you.
Yeah.
And then like the whole time while after you got her, the Gravemind is like, give her back.
Give her back.
I knew you were hiding something. You
At last,
AI,
her secret is revealed.
your secret is revealed.
yeah, because she's got like the codes to like launch one of the
index from Halo 1.
She kept so she never gave it up after. I don't know how long she was there, but she managed to hide it from the Gravemind for all those, I don't know, weeks, months maybe. It's pretty epic. Austin, I remember also you told me, I know you usually do the fun facts, you told me a fun fact about Arbiter about that level?
Yes. So when you are, say, playing that mission by yourself, because usually like the Arbiter's there around in the cutscenes, and he even shows up as like an NPC to do things occasionally as you're playing the game. But when you do the level Cortana, Chief arrives by himself, if you're playing by yourself. And he goes through the whole mission, you save Cortana, you get all the way back, and right when you're supposed to be leaving, the Arbiter is actually there waiting for you, like he's there to pick you up. To
You
help
should
you
ride out.
He's like fighting, and Cortana has this whole thing. He's like, "Who the heck is crazy enough to come here?" And sees the armor's like, "Oh, you two are friends now. Okay, cool." And then you escape. But since we were playing co-op, it actually slightly changes the cutscene a little bit to where, like, the Arbor actually flies in with the Chief, and he has his own, like, landing. He gets out with the Chief and stuff, and then that little dialogue with Cortana, like, who's crazy, doesn't actually happen at the end because he's been with you the whole time, which is pretty fun.
That's awesome.
But since we're also talking about fun facts about that level, starting from that level on, a lot of the backdrops for the cutscenes, and I know this is probably because they were rushed, but I think it was the right choice and it looks better, is that they just put their concept art for the mission as the backdrop, and then just had like them flying and the cutscenes happening on top of it. Which, when we're playing on our super HD computers, it looks a little funny. But back in the day, when you just had like your 720p Xbox 360 displays, it looked gorgeous. And I still think
I was playing on 480. Thank you very much. There were composite cables involved. You remember that? The Xbox. Sorry, tangent to your tangent. The Xbox came with like an HDMI and composite cables because they're like, we don't know what you got. So it was, man. Which is for you Zoomers and babies who don't know, composite cables are those old yellow, red, and white you see on pictures of old TVs. That's what that is. I love it. It's not. I think it looks great in a vacuum. I think it's inconsistent that it just starts in the last 3 missions of the game. If they had done it from the beginning, I think I would have been 100% on board with the stylistic choice. But it does kind of smack you in the face when it's like, oh, we're doing this now. Okay.
At least it's pretty.
It is pretty. It's gorgeous. It's great art. Yeah. So, Austin, do you want to take us home on the plot?
Well, man, we got how many hours?
I mean, there's only a couple missions left.
Okay, so just to finish up the... Okay, so if we're finishing up the plot. Yeah, so we save Cortana, and then it's like, okay, we're going to go ahead and fire the first Halo ring so we can end this.
But not all of them.
Index from
yeah,
because
the bad guys were trying...
Just the first
We're
one,
trying to, like, destroy the universe. And then the good guys are like, let's just do this one in this mostly uninhabited space. It seems like most of the Flood is just in this area of space, which is largely uninhabited other than the Flood and the people fighting over this area.
Yeah. On top of the ring not even being finished yet.
Yes.
So it wouldn't even be like a full strength.
Oh, because Guilty Spark comes back from the first game and is like, oh, cool, they're rebuilding my ring. That's a plot point, too.
Yeah. It's like, oh, hello again. Oh, hello. I love his humming. Like, I hate 343 Guilty Spark, but I love 343 Guilty Spark. I love to hate him. But yeah, so we go and crash land on the ring, because we always got to crash land. It's got to look cool. In the snow, and we get to revisit familiar landscape from Halo 1, the original control room that we get to go visit again. And the Flood are pissed. They don't want us to do it, so they start trying to attack us. We fight our way up. Johnson's there. He's like giving us cover fire from a ledge with a Spartan laser, because he's awesome like that. Work with a couple Sentinels to get inside, finally make it to the control room. We're about ready to end this. Johnson goes up there with Cortana to go ahead and start it. And Monitor's like, oh, cool, we're ready to fire this thing in just a few days. And Johnson's like, nah, fam, we're going to fire this now. And then the Monitor's getting all pissy. He's like, well, you'll destroy everything. You'll destroy my installation in the Ark. And then, surprise, again, he betrays you yet again. And does the absolute unthinkable, unforgivable thing and lasers Johnson in the chest, putting him down.
Frick that guy.
Fires, puts Johnson down, shoots Chief. I like how you can see the Arbiter in the corner. It's like, maybe if I sneak up, blomp, gets blasted. It's flying back. So you have this little short mini fight with the, quote-unquote, fight with the Oracle. You walk over to Johnson, he's like, kick his ass, gives you the Spartan laser, and then we let Christian take it and blow up the Monitor. And then probably my second most memorable cuts. It's hard to rank them, they're all so freaking good. But then the sad final farewell with Johnson, and then lighting the ring.
Send me out with a
small
bang.
Little fun fun little fact about that mission: if you use the sentry turrets to help you fight off the Flood before the door opens, Yep. If you deploy them, since they're Sentinel technology fighting with you, and at the moment the Oracle betrays you and all the Sentinels do, the turrets you deployed to help you are now hostile to you and will try to kill you. And on Legendary, they hurt.
Yeah.
So I just have a habit of breaking them before I go in now.
Yeah, I set a turret down, and you're like, bust that thing. And I'm like, why? And you're like, you'll know. I didn't want to spoil it for Christian. I was like, wait, does that affect that? And you're like, yes.
It's a great attention to detail. It surprised me the first time. Like, wait, why are my things killing me? I'm dead. And then we get to the legendary Warthog run.
Yeah, because we're firing the Halo.
Just hiding things up.
We're firing the Halo, and that's like destroy. That's why the monitor turned against us. Is like we're firing it now, which is gonna like blow up the Halo, and he's pissy about that. Even though it'll probably still mostly kill the Flood. But it's like everything's destable from doing it, basically.
Yeah, blow up the whole Arc installation, blow up the Halo ring, and it will annihilate the Flood. But then we got to get the heck out of there, so we got to get to the ship Johnson flew in on. So we get to the Warthog run segment, and in Halo 1, I let Christian drive, and that was an incredibly fun time. We made it in one try with literally a second to spare on the clock, and it was awesome. Christian, why don't you go ahead and tell us how the Warthog run in this one went, since you were driving?
This time we did even better.
Sure.
Okay, you're gonna go into this, but I want to point out what was baffling is you were actually doing it like perfectly, and then Austin was like, "Wait, I want to show you the secret," and we looked at it, and you have to die to do the secret. You can tell us about that in a second, but then you're like, "Okay, now let's do it," and then you died like 17 times, even though you basically got to the end perfectly in one go.
Yeah.
No, we died a couple times before then because you made a point saying like if he did it in one try, we wouldn't have stopped for the grunt. But
I guess that is true. But he was he was doing a lot better the first bit until after.
No, my first run was much better. But we stopped for the last grunt. I think is what you said. It's known as. Which was pretty cool to see.
I was kidnapped as a child.
Hey, demon! The jerk store called, and they're all at you.
that one was my favorite. They're running out of you.
That's too good.
Oh, that's hilarious. So then, back to driving. Took us quite a few more attempts. I realized just how much those Sentinels make you flip. Oh man, I don't even know how many tries it took us to get to the end. It was well over 10.
I feel like it was maybe only slightly less than 20.
Yeah,
it was a
probably
lot.
Somewhere around there. But we did it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we did it, but we did it.
It
Yeah.
was great.
It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you fly into the back of the ship after completing the Warthog run, and then like everything's all get crazy. Run to the pedestal, get Cortana in there, ignite the engines immediately to get out as fast as possible. Nothing's tied down in the hangar, so everything's flying all over the place. Tanks are sliding across the room, and the Arbiter's like trying not to get crushed to death. And then Chief gives him the old classic nod, telling them to go ahead and get to the cockpit, get out of here, and he stays there with Cortana in the hangar. Almost gets flicked off the ship, but he barely grabs on at the end, climbs himself back up. And, as they're making it to the portal to go home, and the next cutscene we see, only half the ship makes it back. And then we have the fun memorial service, but it's only the Arbiter there.
Okay.
We don't know what happened to Chief.
Sorry. Weird fun fact, we didn't deal much with what were those things, you'd go touch a thing and then a bunch of words would appear. What do you call those? Terminals. Thank you. Okay, so I won't get too much into it, but that's like hidden secret lore about a character's name like the Didact and Librarian, who were like forerunners that were trying to fight the Flood before all that. It's very interesting. But if you're on Legendary, you get secret hidden lore about a character named Mendicant Bias, who I also won't get too much into, but he was like an AI that worked for the Forerunners. It's revealed, I don't know if it's in a book or if it's in the final terminal, that the reason Chief even survives is Mendicant Bias, I don't know, tweaked the explosion or the portal in such a way that it saved his life, apparently. That is canon. So, there's a weird...
I did not know that.
Weird quirk is this weird AI that's been in the background that's been watching you. Basically, the very short version is like betrayed the Forerunners to the Flood and then decided after like waiting like literally I think millions of years, like that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. And so he's been secretly trying to help you. So a lot of the things that seem like luck, like Cortana talked about that. Chief still has luck, but the luck was being kind of picked by Mendicant Bias. And so a lot of the things in the background are him shifting things to try and influence in a way to help him out, apparently. So there's your weird
That's pretty
work.
cool. Yeah, so we have the whole end ceremony. We have, you know, the captain, or not Captain Keys, Lord Hood talking to the Arbiter saying, you know, I remember how this war started with your kind did against mine. I can't forgive you, but you have my thanks for standing by him to the end. It's hard to believe he's dead. And then we get the awesome Arbiter line, were it so easy, which he said right at the very beginning of the game. And he goes back with his elite friends back to their home world. The Arbiter's in charge of the faction again. And then the final little hidden cutscene is we get to see Chief just floating adrift in space on the other half of the ship with Cortana, wondering how they made it. And then Chief has to go to sleep, pretty much cryo sleep, in order to basically stay alive.
Wake me if you need me.
Yep, and then poor Cortana, and that's where pretty much the Halo 3 story ends. Like, that's like the end of the story for Master Chief in the Bungie era. That's all there was. Like, there's a couple other games, but they don't touch on Chief.
Don't worry,
So
343 will
touches
pick
it.
up that plot thread and continue it forward into the future. I'm sure they will handle it with delicacy, care, and skilled craftsmanship.
Good. That'll be great.
Let's not go there yet. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive.
The music's good.
But I was about to say, so I know we had a fun fact about the music. I have another fun fact about the music. Here I am, spouting out fun facts like Christian here. In one of the tracks, there is a song that sounds really funky. It's a kind of a Flood-inspired track. You have like the normal Flood beats that were there from Halo 1, but then you kind of hear like some really weird like voice kind of going on in there. It's actually, if you take the song and play it backwards, you get, it's the Gravemind himself basically giving a speech.
He talks to you throughout that. We kind
let's
of
see
skipped
if I-
over that. Sometimes Cortana,
Yeah.
mostly Cortana gives you psychic message, but as you get closer to saving her, when you're in that level, he starts giving you weird glitchy messages too, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. Yeah, so you have that little hidden speech in there, and I just pulled it up so I can actually
Yeah.
say it. But what the Gravemind is actually saying in that song is, side by side, we march as one, human and elites will die, the earth will fall if we strike together, so forth shall all of life.
Oh, man.
So that's what the Gravemind is basically, like, chanting in our ears as we're running through fighting.
Oh man.
And it's freaking great. I love the soundtrack. It was one of the first video game soundtracks I loaded up on my phone music player and basically just listened to over and over and over and over again. I absolutely adore it. There's not a single track on it that's bad. I already know, Christian, you adore it so far. Dolan, your thoughts on that soundtrack? Has to be
It's
pleasant.
definitely the best of at least the original trilogy. I'd have to listen to some of the others to confirm if it's the best in the series. It's so good. I mean, even 2, which I had grumps about, the soundtrack's great. The soundtracks are always great. Marty, you outdid yourself. There's a reason it's still remembered now. Those themes, I can hear the menu theme in my head. I can hear, just the riffs and motifs. He didn't reinvent the wheel, but I'm actually really glad. I felt like a lot of this game, It was just taking what worked before and evolving it and adding onto it and making it more complex and adding the fidelity, which is exactly what Halo 3 needed to be. Yeah, just phenomenal work.
So good. And the last little music thing, as the last little bit of a fun fact, on the mission, my favorite mission, the Covenant, because throughout all these levels, you can find these skulls that unlock little secrets. Unless you're Master Chief Collection, then you just have all the skulls, but you can still find them. But back in the day, we had to actually find them and unlock them ourselves. But the one skull that the community didn't solve properly, they had to pretty much data mine to solve it, was the I Would Have Been Your Daddy skull on the Covenant, which, funny enough, was a music puzzle for the players to solve. He had all the different holograms of all the Halo rings that the Ark was in control of on this giant bridge. And you were supposed to jump through them in a very specific order to unlock the skull. But what each ring did when you jumped through is it had a specific musical pitch, like a small little hum to it. And what you're supposed to technically do is jump through it in the order, and it plays part of the Halo theme. And that's what unlocks the skull.
That is the most chaotic frigging level. I do not know how on earth you would ever naturally come across that.
Well, I mean, if you're playing through, you kill everything before you cross the bridge to trigger the cutscene to kill Truth. You just kind of go turn around and then try to solve it. That's how people typically try to do it at that point. Because then all the enemies are dead.
I guess that's true.
And they don't respawn, so... Yes. So you do that, but yeah, data miners found the answer before people naturally solved it. So it's like, there remains the one truly unsolved Easter egg through normal means. So I found that pretty fun. Especially since it was music related.
Yeah. And that skull's great. It makes the enemies say random nonsense. I have friends too. Everyone just starts saying random nonsense.
Oh yeah, we didn't experiment with it as much, but there's some really good lines, especially if you're trading weapons with people. I think one of my favorites is when you give an elite a weapon, he just straight up says, "Didn't I give you this for Christmas?" He gets upset that you're giving it to him.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm going to change the order of one of our last little agenda things. Let's go ahead and finish any last fun facts you have, Christian.
Ooh, goody. Okay. So, another fun fact that I have is related to some additional voiceovers that were included in this game. So, in terms of voiceover work, most of the Marines are actually voiced by cast members of another sci-fi
It's got to be
source
Star
of
Trek.
media. No, not Star Trek.
What?
Star is not in the name. This is something that not everybody will recognize. I think most people will know what this is. I'm gonna give you a hint, Dolan, and you tell me if you know what this is.
Are there puppets? Are there puppets involved?
There are not puppets, but I'm gonna give you a commonly quoted line, and you are gonna tell me what it's from.
Oh gosh.
I swear by my pretty pink bonnet that I will end you.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So there is a sci-fi. Maybe it's not pretty pink, mate. It's pretty little bonnet. Oh well.
Okay, I still have no idea.
So the cast of Firefly.
Oh, I hate that show. That's why.
Oh, okay.
I watched
Ouch.
2 episodes. This is one of the worst things I've ever watched in my life. I'm glad it was canceled and that I didn't watch the rest. So that was.
It apparently was very well received, from my understanding.
Yeah, everyone loves it, but me. I hate it. Okay,
Well,
flame me in the comments.
So the cast of Firefly and the Serenity play a handful of the Marines, and Nathan Fillion actually voices the sergeants.
Yeah, dope. I love Nathan Fillion. That's awesome.
Oh, he comes back. Don't worry, he comes back.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Yeah, he gets a face model in Reach, doesn't he?
He becomes a main character.
Yeah.
In the Halo series, he's one of the main characters in the
Halo
next game we're
Wars.
gonna play.
Isn't he in Halo Wars also, or did I hallucinate that?
You hallucinated that.
That's fine. Cool. Awesome. Nathan Fillion's
he's in ODST and he's in Halo 5.
Really? He comes back. The game we may or may not play.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fun.
So there's that, and then the other fun fact that I had that maybe I should have mentioned this earlier when we were talking about this section of the game, but the scarabs. So in Halo 2, the scarabs were all scripted of like their movements and like when they would be in what places. In Halo 3, the scarabs had their own AI that allowed it to move about the environment freely. So it wasn't always, okay, 5 seconds after the scarab drops, it's going to be at this point every single time. Because there was an AI involved, it would fluctuate of exactly where it went, so it allowed for some more variability in the interactions with the scarabs. And I thought that, that was a pretty fun fact.
We'd die and get rebooted, and it would not react the same way every time.
Exactly.
Those are fun facts. Yeah, the scarabs are way more fun in this game, in my opinion. I friggin' love fighting them.
Oh yeah, so good. Being able to board them, bring them down, and then blow them up was phenomenal compared to the Halo 2, just jump in, kill the pilots, we're done. But yeah, so Halo 3, legendary game. When we play another Halo game, which I'm not sure when that exactly will be, but the next one on our list is Halo 3 ODST. We will not be Spartans. We are going to be humans dropping in ODSTs. What do you think will probably happen, or how the game will feel, Christian, since you probably have not played that one?
I have not, and based on conversations, I am going to predict that there are no flood.
No flood.
I think it'll be interesting. So we're humans. Is it? It's not a. It's not a prequel, is it?
It's an interquel. It's between 2 and 3.
Okay.
So it takes place, like, if you want to have like the exact time. You remember in Halo 2, when we're fighting on Earth in the city, and then we eventually, the Halo ship warps, or the Covenant ship warps inside the city, and we follow them?
Mm-hmm.
So ODST starts, we're dropping the literal second that warp is happening. So basically, it takes place right at that moment. That's when it takes place.
So we get to see what happened on Earth during all that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to give a prediction, obviously, because I've played it, but I'll give an expectation setting, because I think everyone I've told this to has had more fun when it set their expectations correctly. This, do not view it as a full game. This is a very big expansion pack type thing. Like, this should be... It was sold for $60, and I think if I had bought it for $60, I'm not saying you wouldn't have been. Austin could probably gotten $60 out of it. I would have been miffed. Because I'm like, I bought Halo 3 for $60, and I bought ODST for $60. And one of those I feel like I'm getting a lot more content out of than the other. But if you view it as like a $30 or $40 expansion pass, it is amazing. But if you go in expecting Halo 3.5, you're not gonna get that.
Okay.
This is it is definitely a different side story experience.
That's good to know.
If you go, set your expectations. But if you set them, it's great. So
and if you thought the previous soundtracks were good, you're about ready to hit a new genre.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's why I said, I was like, I don't know if it's the best in the series. I won't, but I will say, this is the game where I'm like, I don't know if it's the best in the series or not. The 3 is the best in the trilogy. This is the other one in my head that I'm like, they're so different that it's hard for me to compare, but it's very good. So that's exciting.
Well, I'm excited to experience it. I predict...
And Nathan Fillion's in it.
That's... Take my money.
What do you predict?
I predict that I'm trying to think of just something crazy. I predict
Cortana turns evil and takes over the world.
I was gonna say Cortana has an evil
Spoilers.
twin. No, Cortana's mother is gonna show up, and she is not
That's
an
not till
AI,
Reach.
but a cyborg, and she is
cyborg.
here to capture Nathan Fillion to be her husband. That's my prediction.
Understandable.
Austin, that's half the plot of Reach. And I won't let
would
you
say
guess.
a quarter.
I won't let you guess which half.
It's the Nathan Fillion part, I bet.
Yes.
He's half right, because half of that's the plot to ODST, and the other half's the plot to Reach.
Sure. We'll see. We'll go with that.
All right.
But
yeah.
I'm excited to that. But I had a really good time playing Halo 3 with you all. It was.
Yeah.
It's always a fun playing that game with people.
Yeah.
I wish I can suck you guys back in time and we can all play like full custom game lobby parties in Halo
That would
3.
be so cool.
Oh yeah.
That would be a dream come true, even though it is dead. But I will never forget it.
Hey, there's probably Xboxes in heaven, is all I'm saying.
There better be. Or will it be Xbox Live?
One would assume we're all alive in Christ, so
There you go.
The best Wi-Fi connection.
there you go.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining me on my second favorite game of all time.
The tier list.
Oh yes. So, the time has come to rank Halo 3 on the tier list.
And the other games.
I know we said yes, and the other games. So, I'll go last. Let's go Christian first.
Okay. Well, buckle your seatbelts, fellas. So, Halo 3,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to rank as an A+.
Hey!
Yeah. Let's go.
And that I take very seriously because I think this
Oh,
is
yeah.
my first A+ that I have given in the pod.
Probably.
I think so.
I enjoyed it so much, I think it is already in my top 10 of all time.
Are we gonna have to change the Christmas episode retroactively?
Well, it's not retroactively. You have to keep listening to see how our opinions change. Next Christmas, we'll release another.
My list will probably be the same, but
So where are 2 and 1 for you?
I would say 2. I can't remember what I ranked it last time, but I would say
I know, that's the fun. Is how does it change?
I would say 2 is like B to B plus. I think,
Mm-hmm.
and 1 I think I would put 1 as a B minus.
Okay. So you think each gets better with per game?
I think so.
Nice. All right.
okay.
You said all right. I'm gonna do reverse order. So 1 is, I'd say, an A minus. The bones are A plus, but you do have to. There is half a game that you play forwards and then backwards, and they disguise that very well and give it good reason. And I gets a lot of points for me for kind of starting something very impressive. Sequels are at a bit of a disadvantage. You have an advantage if I'm already invested. You have the disadvantage of me going, why am I playing you instead of just playing the last game again? Give me a reason to. And I, unfortunately, Halo 2 did not, for me, give me a reason. It gave me a lot of reasons for me to not enjoy it, as I mentioned before. I've had time to simmer on it and think on it, and I still agree. I think it's like a D plus if I'm feeling generous. I think it is the worst parts of all of the Halo games that I've played. Just kind of, and it's not their fault. They were trying really, really hard. They were under a lot of constraints. But every Halo game, I'm just having a blast, except for that one. So it's a D plus for me. But Halo 3, A plus also. Legendary game. Like, it's just the pinnacle of Halo. It's the pinnacle of games of that era. When I think of, like, 2008 2007 whatever gaming, it's Halo 3. There's probably games you could find in that year that maybe I personally like more because I'm a story guy, but I still think, oh yeah, late high school, pizza time, Halo 3. So A+ for me.
Alrighty, I approve of these rankings so far. Well, almost.
Except for the Halo 2 from Dolan.
Yes. So I'm going to also go from Halo 1. So Halo 1, I would rank an A. Absolutely adore that game. Played it so much. Started one of my favorite game series of all time growing up. Instant classic. I do have a higher regard for Halo 2, though I do put Halo 1 above it. Halo 2 is an A- for me. So slightly above Halo 1, but I still think it is phenomenal. Every time I play it, I feel like I enjoy it a little bit more, but still never as much, never surpasses Halo 1. But I'm going to say screw the rules on the ranking. I'm putting Halo 3 in S tier.
There's no S tier. You could have an A+ also.
He just changed the whole structure.
Guess who's editing this? It's me. It's on A+. Because if it's S tier, then Resident Evil 3 would be an S tier for me. I restrained myself.
A++.
A++. Wait, I could just make a separate tier for you that says Halo 3 on it.
Halo 3. Anyway, but if I'm forced to your constraints, it's going to be the highest of A+.
Yeah.
It is
gold star.
There's only been one game in my head that has personally just sits just maybe like a millimeter above it for me.
Are we ever going to play that game?
I don't know. We'll find out someday. But there's only been one game that's slightly higher than it, which if the Christmas podcast of 2028 comes out, you will know.
The years get longer each time you mention it.
But I could probably, if I was told like no, Halo 3 should be your favorite game, I could probably also happily agree with that. It's just
nice. Nice. That's fantastic. Yeah.
But,
this is our first where we all give it the same, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
This is I mean like where we've all, I think maybe we've had some B's that were the same somewhere or something like that, but I don't think all three of us have ever rated a game exactly the same, and certainly not all A+.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's saying something, folks.
No, yeah, well, controversial opinion from three white guys in their late 20s and early 30s. Halo 3 was good. You heard it here.
And if you somehow have not played this game, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Play the game.
Yeah, Master Chief isn't perfect, but it's a very accessible way, and it'll get her done. Go play it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you to both of you for joining me on this adventure of the original Halo trilogy. I look forward to the next games that we play together, whether it be Halo, whether it be a small little dragon torturing other animal creatures, or whether we're throwing balls at animals and making them beat up each other. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
I don't.
Anyway, it's been fun. My name is Austin.
I'm Dolan.
And I'm Christian.
Woo!
And thank you for watching the Gameboys podcast. Have a great day.
Yeah! Happy 2025! Released in 2026.
Happy 2029.
No!